Here in Rustlers Valley, in the foothills of the Maluti Mountains, a journey is being made into our archaic past. An eclectic group of people have gathered to remember and reflect on the spiritual teachings of the earliest human societies. They're also here to compare notes from the incredible journeys they have made with sacred plants and to consider an extraordinary theory. Hallucinogenic plants may have been the catalysts for everything about us that distinguishes us from higher primates, for all the mental functions that we associate with humanness. Our society, more than others, will find this theory difficult to accept because we have made pharmacologically obtained ecstasy a taboo. Like sexuality, altered states of consciousness are taboo because they are consciously or unconsciously sensed to be entwined with the mysteries of our origin, with where we came from and how we got to be the way we are. Such experiences dissolve boundaries and threaten the order of the reigning patriarchy and the domination of society by the unreflecting expression of ego. Since the beginning of human culture, hallucinogenic plants have been used as tools to expand consciousness and explore a wide variety of mental, physical and spiritual states, alternate realities and alternate ways of perceiving the world. The traditional healers, or shamans, of early gatherer-hunter societies used them to access visions and heal. In his book, The Wondrous Mushroom, Gordon Wasson says, in his trance, the shaman goes on a far journey, the place of the departed ancestors, or the netherworld, or there where the gods dwell. And this wonderland is, I submit, precisely where hallucinogens take us. They are a gateway to ecstasy. Shamans see these plants as living intelligences, allies and guides.
But shamanism is primarily a technology for the production of ecstasy. And ecstasy is this extremely intense human experience that combines elements of terror, orgasm, wonder and fear, transformative efflorescence and awe. It's a very unusual state. It's possible to go from the birth canal to the grave and never touch ecstasy. Sex delivers facets, but not the terror, not the awe, not the self-displacing wonder that comes from the psychedelic experience or defeating some enormous enemy in physical battle or surviving a landslide or something like that. Usually we achieve ecstasy in extraordinarily extreme conditions. The exception is plants, which can lead you there gently over an hour and a half and bring you back gently 5 hours later.
And that is certainly facilitated by the use of psychoactive substances and becomes very close to a recasting of shamanic styles of cure, where the afflicted person and the shaman sit together and attain trance ecstasy through substances, plants, or some other method, and then work through the cause of the dis-ease together.
Some people, like the researcher, author, and radical historian Terence McKenna, believe that these plants may even have been responsible for the birth of human culture itself. Here in Africa, the ideal condition existed for the growth of what may prove to be a missing link, the psilocybin mushroom.
It has to be the mushrooms because it happened in grassland. It happened in Africa. It happened in the presence of activity. Only psilocybin
presents itself as this low-dose light.
Psilocybin specifically activates the areas of the brain concerned with processing signals. A common occurrence with psilocybin intoxication is spontaneous outbursts of poetry and other vocal activities such as speaking in tongues. Researchers familiar with the territory agree that psilocybin has a profoundly catalytic effect on the linguistic impulse.
Psychedelics are so feared and suppressed. It sends money then on an issue. And what is it? Well, I think it's that they pose a threat to the cultural elite. That cultures are in the business of selling some kind of complex wrap, which they call our cultural identity, to whatever captive population they're trying to screw in.
You do not have to be a sophisticated chemist or enter the world of street drugs to access the mushroom.
Magic mushroom growers guide that shows you how to do it on rye in canning jars, and this has transformed many a household. And strangely enough, the cultivation of mushrooms inculcates all these amazing Calvinist values like cleanliness, punctuality, attention to detail, discretion. I mean, it just completely, if you're loose as a goose, you can't grow them. You can't more than that. And then when it succeeds, spectacularly. Nature is far more creative than any synthetic chemist. We have a lot of Darwinian paranoia. The idea that nature is all tooth and claw, and that anything that comes at you with its hand extended, it wants to rip your eyes out.
Through an increasing knowledge of the chemistry of plants and its relationship to the brain, the cyber tribes of the 90s will have access to even more potent combinations and more concentrated forms of the psychoactive ingredients of these plants.
Nobody is living in a drugless world at this point. It's here to stay, folks. It's like radio. We sort of have to come to terms with this stuff. A glacier rattles in